The biting Siberian wind howled like a banshee, whipping snow across the desolate plains as Grigori Efremovich rasped his final breaths. Born into this harsh landscape in one Inspector Dmitry Volkov adjusted his fur hat, the sting of the Petrograd winter searing his cheeks. 1869, Pokrovskoy village seemed to mold him in its unforgiving image. Dmitry, a seasoned inspector with a nose for the macabre, surveyed the scene before him, the frozen Neva River, its icy surface a canvas marred by a single, dark stain. He knew all too well who lay beneath it, Grigori Rasputin, the self-proclaimed holy man, a figure shrouded in mystery and scandal. Rasputin's life had been a tapestry woven with as many blessings as curses. Whispers followed him from his youth, tales of mystical visions and faith healing practiced in the candlelit confines of remote Siberian chapels. By the 1890s, his reputation had reached the gilded halls of St. Petersburg, catching the ear of Tsar Nicholas II and his wife, Alexandra. Their only son, Alexei, suffered from hemophilia, a blood-clotting disorder that threatened the Romanov dynasty. Desperate, the Tsarina turned to Rasputin, hoping for a miracle. Dmitry had delved deep into Rasputin's past. The man who now lay frozen in the river was a far cry from the pious image he cultivated. Debauchery and drunken brawls punctuated his early years, whispers of a violent streak clinging to him like a shadow. Yet, when Alexei bled uncontrollably, a touch from Rasputin's calloused hand, a whispered prayer, seemed to stem the flow. The desperate Tsarina saw a divine intervention, a holy man gifted by God. Rasputin became a fixture in the royal court, his influence over the Tsarina, and by extension, the Tsar, growing with each passing day. The once humble peasant reveled in his newfound power. A coterie of sycophants surrounded him, eager to curry favor. Rumors swirled, lavish parties fueled by vodka and debauchery, Rasputin wielding his influence like a cudgel, manipulating appointments and policies. Dmitry, tasked with maintaining order amidst the city's glittering underbelly, had received numerous complaints about the Mad Monk's activities. But the Tsar's unwavering trust shielded Rasputin from any serious investigation. Discontent simmered within the Russian aristocracy. The whispers of a crumbling empire, fueled by military defeats in World War I, intertwined with Rasputin's growing influence. A cabal of nobles, led by the charismatic Prince Felix Yusupov and the firebrand Vladimir Purishkevich, saw him as the root cause of Russia's woes. They hatched a plot, a desperate act fueled by a toxic mix of patriotism and paranoia. On the night of December 30th, 1916, Dmitry received a frantic call from a trembling palace guard. Rasputin lay dead in Prince Yusupov's private residence. The official story, a web of half-truths and convenient omissions, painted a picture of a poisoning gone wrong. Wine and cakes laced with cyanide, a struggle, gunshots, and finally, the disposal of the body through a hole in the ice. Yet, something didn't sit right with Dmitry. The scene itself reeked of amateurism. The amount of cyanide allegedly used should have killed Rasputin instantly. His body, recovered days later, showed minimal traces of the poison. More damningly, an autopsy revealed multiple gunshot wounds, one a fatal shot to the head. The poisoning, if it happened at all, seemed a desperate attempt to mask a more violent end. Dmitry, driven by an unshakable dedication to the truth, began a clandestine investigation. He interviewed those close to Rasputin, navigating a labyrinth of fear and loyalty. He learned of heated arguments between Rasputin and Prince Yusupov, whispers of blackmail and threats. The supposed poisoning attempt, initially presented as a desperate act to save Yusupov's honor, began to resemble a staged scene. Unraveling the truth proved a perilous task. The aristocracy, fearing a scandal that would further destabilize the already teetering empire, closed ranks. Threats veiled in honeyed words reached Dmitri's ears, a chilling reminder of the power he was up against. Yet, he persisted, driven by a sense of justice and a gnawing doubt that refused to be quelled. His investigation led him to a hidden network of informants, individuals disillusioned with the aristocracy and the mad monk's hold on power. Piece by piece, a sinister picture emerged. Rasputin, it turned out, was not just a charismatic mystic. He was a shrewd political operator, using his influence with the Tsarina to manipulate appointments and policies that benefited himself and his shadowy network. Evidence surfaced of bribes exchanged, lucrative contracts awarded to dubious figures with ties to Rasputin. The holy man was lining his pockets while Russia bled on the battlefields of Europe. This revelation deepened the suspicion surrounding his death. Was the poisoning a clumsy attempt to silence him before he could expose the network of corruption he helped build? Did the conspirators fear a power struggle, a desperate attempt by Rasputin to secure his own position amidst the crumbling empire? The more Dmitri dug, the murkier the waters became. His investigation wasn't without its setbacks. One of his informants, a disgruntled palace guard with a taste for vodka and loose lips, was found dead in a back alley, a single playing card, the Queen of Spades, a symbol of death, clutched in his lifeless hand. The message was clear: silence or suffer the consequences. Undeterred, Dmitri pressed on, his resolve hardening with each threat. A breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a young maid who worked at Prince Yusupov's residence. Terrified but desperate for justice, she recounted a chilling tale. On the night of the murder, she had witnessed the conspirators arguing amongst themselves. Rasputin, it seemed, had stumbled upon incriminating evidence, a document detailing their plot to overthrow the Tsar and establish a provisional government. The revelation sparked a heated exchange, culminating in a struggle and the sound of gunshots. This new information cast serious doubt on the poisoning narrative. Why use a slow, unreliable method like cyanide if the conspirators had access to firearms? The answer, Dmitri theorized, was to create a smokescreen. By making it appear as though they intended to poison Rasputin, they hoped to deflect suspicion from the more brutal reality, a cold-blooded murder. However, the maid's testimony presented a new challenge. Fearful of retaliation, she refused to come forward officially. Dmitri faced a dilemma. He needed her statement to solidify his case, but exposing her could put her life at risk. In a tense meeting with a trusted colleague, Inspector Alexei Petrov, known for his cunning and resourcefulness, they devised a plan. Alexei, a master of disguise, would pose as a traveling merchant, infiltrating the Yusupov household under the pretense of selling exotic wares. Once inside, he would discreetly interview the maid, recording her testimony on a hidden phonograph cylinder. The risk was significant, but it offered the best chance of bringing the truth to light. Days turned into weeks as Alexei meticulously crafted his cover story and secured an audience with Prince Yusupov. The operation was a nail-biting affair. Dmitri, disguised as a street vendor, waited anxiously outside the Yusupov residence, his ears straining for any sign of trouble. Hours later, Alexei emerged, a flicker of triumph in his eyes. His mission, fraught with peril, had been a success. With the maid's recorded testimony, Dmitri finally had enough evidence to confront the conspirators. He presented his findings to a select group of trusted officials, men who, like him, harbored a deep sense of loyalty to the Tsar and a loathing for the corruption that had infected the empire. The room buzzed with a mix of disbelief and grim determination. Targeting a member of the aristocracy, even one as despised as Rasputin, was no small feat. After a tense deliberation, they decided to take action. Under the cover of night, Dmitri and a team of hand-picked officers stormed Prince Yusupov's opulent mansion. The arrest was swift and decisive. Yusupov, Purishkevich, and the other conspirators, confronted with the damning evidence, crumbled. Their carefully constructed facade of self-defense shattered under the weight of the truth. The trial that followed was a spectacle that captivated Petrograd. The once untouchable aristocrats, exposed as cold-blooded murderers, were stripped of their titles and sentenced to a life of exile in Siberia. The news of their downfall sent shockwaves through the city, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the encroaching darkness of war and revolution. Rasputin's death, initially dismissed as a sordid murder fueled by jealousy and debauchery, became a potent symbol of the rot that had infected the heart of the Russian Empire. His life, a tapestry woven with genuine piety and ruthless manipulation, exposed the vulnerability of even the most powerful to the machinations of the desperate and the ambitious.